Welcome to our channel, your gateway to the most spine-chilling tales and unnerving true stories. Today, we present a true story, a haunting adventure, Ghosts of Chillingham Castle. The name of Chillingham Castle hints at the chilling stories that have been told about it, and it is widely considered to be Britain's most haunted historic castle. Located in the village of Chillingham, just a 20-minute journey from Alnwick, the castle was originally built as a stronghold in the 12th century. Its turbulent history saw the castle being attacked due to its crucial position on the border of Northumberland. Chillingham Castle is said to be home to a mixture of tortured spirits and friendly ghosts, with one of the most talked about being the White Pantry Ghost. The ghost of a frail figure in white is said to appear in the inner pantry, begging for water. Historically, the story goes that a footman guarded the pantry because the silver was stored there. One night, while he was asleep, he was confronted by a lady in white who begged him for some water. The footman assumed she was one of the castle's guests and went to retrieve it, only to realize that he was locked inside and nobody could have entered. Another one of the castle's most talked about spirits is that of the Blue Boy, who is thought to haunt the Pink Room. Witnesses have claimed to see blue halos of light inside the room, adding to the eerie atmosphere of Chillingham Castle. Rebecca gathered the team in the library, its musty scent mingling with the promise of long-forgotten secrets. Dust particles danced in the slivers of sunlight that filtered through stained glass windows, casting an otherworldly glow on the ancient tomes that lined the shelves. Her fingers trembled with anticipation as she opened one of the books, revealing pages yellowed with age and filled with tales of horror. Rebecca's eyes sparkled with excitement as she recounted the grim history of Chillingham Castle, recounting how it had once served as a chamber of unimaginable suffering. Ethan leaned forward, his hands clasped tightly together, his intense gaze fixed on Rebecca's every word. Determination etched lines on his forehead as he absorbed the harrowing details, eager to uncover the truth hidden within the castle's dark shadows. Lucas, though skeptical, raised an eyebrow and scratched his chin thoughtfully. His analytical mind sought logical explanations for the castle's haunted reputation, but he couldn't deny the intoxicating allure of unraveling ancient mysteries. Amelia shifted uncomfortably in her seat, glancing around nervously. Her psychic sensitivity tingled beneath her skin, fueling her apprehension about what lay ahead. As Rebecca described the restless spirits said to roam Chillingham Castle's halls, Amelia's muscles tensed, her empathetic nature already sensing their yearning for release. Rebecca paused, her voice dropping to a hushed whisper. "Chillingham Castle holds the key to unlocking a dark chapter in history," she said, her gaze flickering between each member of the team. "But we must be prepared. The horrors that await us are unlike anything we have encountered before." Ethan nodded, his jaw set with unwavering determination. His piercing blue eyes were alight with a fierce resolve. "We will document every chilling encounter," he declared, his voice unwavering. "We will capture undeniable evidence of the supernatural and expose the truth hidden within these walls." Amelia's uncertainty transformed into resolute determination as she met Ethan's gaze. She reached out a hand and placed it reassuringly on Rebecca's arm. "We will give voice to those who have been silenced by time," she whispered softly, her hazel eyes brimming with compassion. "Together, we will find answers and bring peace to both the living and the dead." Lucas adjusted his glasses and nodded in agreement, a glimmer of excitement igniting in his eyes. "Let's bridge science and spirituality," he said with conviction. "Let's capture tangible proof that there is more to this world than meets the eye." As they sat in that dimly lit library, surrounded by ancient knowledge and echoing whispers from the past, the team forged an unspoken bond. They understood the risks they were about to face, but were united by their shared purpose, to unearth the secrets that lay deep within Chillingham Castle and shed light on its haunting history. Little did they know that their journey would test their limits, challenge their beliefs, and forever alter their perception of reality. Ethan led the team through the shadowy corridors of Chillingham Castle, their footsteps echoing against the stone walls. The air was heavy, with an oppressive silence, broken only by the faint sound of dripping water and the distant creaking of ancient timbers. Rebecca's eyes darted around, taking in every detail of their surroundings. She couldn't help but imagine the castle in its former glory, a bustling hub of life and power. Now, it stood as a haunting relic of a bygone era, its secrets waiting to be unearthed. As they turned a corner, they entered a vast chamber that sent shivers down their spines. The room was adorned with tattered tapestries, faded portraits, and rows of empty suits of armor standing like silent sentinels. Lucas adjusted the straps of his backpack, his gaze fixed on the equipment he carried. He knew that capturing evidence would require precision and attention to detail. Every click of a camera or beep of an EVP recorder held the potential to validate their beliefs and unravel the mysteries that plagued Chillingham Castle. Amelia's senses tingled with anticipation as she scanned the room for any signs of spiritual energy. Her psychic sensitivity was heightened within these ancient walls, and she could feel the presence of restless souls lurking just beyond their perception. She shivered involuntarily, goosebumps prickling her arms. Ethan's eyes were alight with determination as he surveyed the room. He could sense the weight of history upon his shoulders, urging him to press forward despite the mounting dangers. This was his chance to cement his reputation as a fearless investigator, unyielding in his pursuit of the truth. Rebecca approached one of the suits of armor, her gloved hand reaching out to touch its cold metal surface. She couldn't help but wonder about the stories these relics held, what horrors they may have witnessed. It was her mission to uncover those stories and bring them to light. Suddenly, a soft whisper seemed to curl through the air, barely audible yet undeniably present. The team froze, their gazes locking in disbelief. It was as if the very walls of Chillingham Castle were whispering secrets only they could hear. Ethan exchanged a quick glance with his team. The shared apprehension mirrored in their eyes. They had anticipated encountering paranormal activity, but this eerie communication from beyond sent goosebumps crawling across their skin. "Did anyone else hear that?" Ethan asked softly, his voice barely above a breathy whisper. Nods and murmurs confirmed that they were all witness to the haunted whispers. Amelia stepped forward, her gaze distant yet focused. "They're here," she said softly, her voice carrying a mix of trepidation and awe. "The spirits trapped within these walls. They're trying to communicate." Lucas raised an eyebrow skeptically, his lips pursed in contemplation. Yet even his analytical mind struggled to explain away the mysterious whispers that seemed to surround them. He adjusted his equipment, silently preparing to capture any tangible evidence that might validate Amelia's claims. Together, they pressed forward through the labyrinthine castle, guided by both historical accounts and their own first-hand experiences. They were determined to unveil the secrets hidden at Chillingham Castle, no matter how chilling or otherworldly they may be. As they continued their exploration into the heart of darkness that lurked within Chillingham Castle's long-forgotten chambers, each step further solidified their resolve. They were stepping into a world where reality merged with myth, where history converged with the supernatural, and with each encounter with the unknown, they grew closer to unearthing the secrets that lay buried in shadows. Heart-pounding and breathless from their narrow escape, the team found themselves huddled together in the flickering candlelit room. The air was heavy with the stench of dampness and decay, a stark reminder of the castle's forgotten secrets. Ethan, his determination unwavering even in the face of danger, surveyed his team. Beads of sweat glistened on his forehead, evidence of the adrenaline pulsing through his veins. With a firm nod, he spoke, his voice tinged with both caution and resolve. "We must press on," Ethan declared, his eyes flickering with an unyielding fire. "We cannot let this setback deter us. There are answers to be found within these walls." Rebecca, her brow furrowed with concern, stepped forward. Her voice trembled slightly as she voiced her thoughts. "But Ethan, we were just attacked by a malevolent spirit," she said, her fingers absently tracing the outline of a book on an adjacent shelf. "Are we truly prepared for what lies ahead?" Lucas adjusted his glasses and turned to face Rebecca, his analytical mind working overtime to find a logical explanation. "I understand your apprehension, Rebecca," he said, his voice steady. "But we have the tools and knowledge to protect ourselves and gather concrete evidence. We must press forward if we want to uncover the truth." Amelia, her psychic sensitivity still humming with residual energy from their encounter, glanced around the dimly lit room. Shadows danced ominously on the cracked walls, causing her to shiver involuntarily. With a determined yet cautious expression, she met Ethan's gaze. "Ethan," Amelia began softly, her eyes searching his for reassurance. "We must remember why we embarked on this journey. To give a voice to those who have been silenced by time. We owe it to them to continue." Ethan sighed heavily, his gaze never wavering from Amelia's earnest face. He knew that in order to make a difference in their field and validate their own experiences, they had to confront whatever darkness lay ahead. "You're right," Ethan said finally, his voice tinged with a mixture of determination and exhaustion. "We can't stop now. We've come too far. But remember, everyone," he added solemnly, his words hanging heavily in the air between them. "Stay vigilant and watch out for each other. We don't know what other horrors await us." With renewed resolve and a shared understanding of the dangers they faced, the team set off once more into the depths of Chillingham Castle. Each step forward carried with it both trepidation and hope, as they navigated the treacherous corridors in search of answers hidden within the castle's dark past. As they moved deeper into the heart of darkness that lurked within Chillingham Castle's long-forgotten chambers, their quest became not only about capturing paranormal evidence, but also about unraveling the mysteries that plague their own souls. Unbeknownst to them, an ancient evil watched from the shadows, an entity determined to keep its secrets buried at all costs. Little did they realize that their courage and curiosity would soon be tested beyond anything they could have imagined. And so, with hearts braced for what lay ahead, Ethan and his team pressed on, ready to unearth the chilling secrets that lay hidden within Chillingham Castle, no matter the cost. The team gathered around a dimly lit table in an old, drafty room, their faces illuminated by the flickering candles that cast eerie shadows on the walls. Maps and historical documents were spread out before them, each member engrossed in the task at hand. Ethan, his brow furrowed with determination, pointed to various areas on the maps, his voice steady yet filled with anticipation. "We'll start with the Great Hall," he said, his finger tracing the intricate details of the castle's layout. "Tales of paranormal activity have been reported there. Lucas, I need you to set up your equipment to capture any electronic voice phenomena." Lucas nodded, adjusting his glasses as he scribbled notes on a notepad. He was eager to put his technological expertise to work in unraveling the mysteries of Chillingham Castle. His analytical mind sought logical explanations for supernatural occurrences, but had learned to keep an open mind in these investigations. Rebecca, her red hair vibrant against the dim lighting, leaned forward eagerly. "While you focus on the Great Hall, Amelia and I will explore the dungeons," she suggested. Her eyes sparkled with excitement at the prospect of uncovering forgotten truths within those cold, damp chambers. Amelia nodded in agreement, her hazel eyes reflecting a mix of curiosity and apprehension. Her psychic abilities would be put to the test as she reached out to any spirits that might reside within those grim spaces. She knew that her connection to the supernatural realm could help unlock the secrets hidden within Chillingham Castle's dark past. Ethan glanced around the table, his gaze focusing on each team member in turn. He admired their unique strengths and believed that together they could face any challenge thrown their way. "Let's reconvene here in 2 hours," he declared, his voice filled with unwavering confidence. "Everyone stay vigilant and report anything out of the ordinary." As the team dispersed, each member prepared themselves mentally for what lay ahead. Ethan knew that encounters with restless spirits could be both thrilling and terrifying, but he was not deterred. Instead, his sense of adventure only heightened the closer they came to discovering concrete evidence of the supernatural within Chillingham Castle's haunted walls. With their plan solidified, the team ventured forth into the unknown, their hearts filled with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. They were determined to document every chilling encounter and capture tangible proof that would validate their beliefs. Deep within Chillingham Castle's enigmatic corridors, they sought answers that had remained hidden for centuries. The team entered the castle's ancient chapel, their footsteps muffled by the worn carpeting. The air was heavy with a sense of anticipation as Lucas unpacked his equipment, meticulously arranging his EVP recorders and cameras. Amelia took a moment to center herself, her psychic sensitivity already tingling with anticipation. As the flickering candlelight cast ethereal hues across the room, Rebecca made her way towards the altar, her gaze fixed on the stained glass windows that depicted scenes from biblical lore. She couldn't help but marvel at the craftsmanship, even in the face of the supernatural lurking within these hallowed walls. Lucas positioned himself near one of the pews, adjusting his camera settings and checking battery levels with meticulous precision. His analytical mind sought logical explanations for every creak or whisper, eager to capture concrete evidence that would bridge the gap between science and the supernatural. Amelia stood in the center of the chapel, her hands clasped together as she closed her eyes and focused on quieting her racing heart. She allowed her intuition to guide her, drawing her closer to any spirit present. In her mind's eye, she saw faint flickers of energy dancing around the room, beckoning her to explore further. Suddenly, a bone-chilling draft cut through the air, extinguishing some of the candles and casting a shadowy veil over the room. The team's breath caught in their throats as whispers seemed to materialize from thin air. Disembodied voices filled the chapel, their words jumbled yet unmistakably laden with sorrow. Rebecca shivered involuntarily, her eyes darting from Lucas to Amelia as if seeking reassurance that what they were experiencing was real. Lucas adjusted his glasses nervously, his gaze fixed on his equipment, hoping to capture undeniable proof of these eerie communications. The sound of footsteps echoed through the empty chapel, growing louder and closer with each passing second. Panic gripped their hearts as they realized they were no longer alone in this haunting space. Their gazes locked in shared alarm as they scanned the room, searching for the source of the ghostly intrusion. Ethan's voice broke through the tension, strong and unwavering. "Stay calm," he urged, stepping forward to shield his team from whatever unseen presence lurked nearby. He knew that fear could cloud judgment and hinder their ability to gather evidence. His determination to uncover the truth propelled him forward. Rebecca's eyes widened as she spotted a shadow flickering near one of the stained glass windows. She pointed towards it with trembling fingers, her voice barely above a whisper. "There," she gasped, her voice laced with both excitement and trepidation. "Do you see it?" Lucas trained his camera on the area Rebecca indicated, his finger poised eagerly above the shutter button. Every fiber of his being yearned for tangible proof, an image or recording that would validate what they all sensed deep in their souls. Amelia's connection to the spiritual realm grew stronger as she reached out with her empathetic nature. She could feel the swirl of emotions surrounding them, fear, grief, anger, all woven together like an invisible tapestry of human experience. It was as if these restless spirits were yearning to tell their stories. As they stood there in that haunted chapel, bathed in flickering candlelight and surrounded by whispers from beyond, Ethan's team felt a deep sense of purpose. They had come to Chillingham Castle only to prove the existence of the supernatural, but also to give voice to those who had been silenced by time. In that moment, as they faced an unexplained presence together, they knew they were united by more than just their shared curiosity. They were bound by a collective determination to unearth the secrets hidden within Chillingham Castle's dark corridors, no matter the cost. Ethan's heart pounded in his chest as he led the team through the narrow corridor. The walls seemed to close in around them, their ever-present weight pressing on their shoulders. The air grew heavy with a sense of foreboding, each step forward fraught with uncertainty. Rebecca clutched her notebook tightly to her chest, her knuckles turning white. Her eyes darted from left to right, searching for any sign of an exit. Fear mingled with determination in her gaze as she pushed forward, unwilling to let the encroaching darkness consume them. Lucas adjusted his backpack, the weight of his equipment a constant reminder of the danger they faced. Beads of sweat dotted his forehead as he strained to hear anything beyond the overwhelming silence. His analytical mind raced, searching for a logical explanation for the supernatural occurrences that surrounded them. Amelia shivered involuntarily, her empathetic nature burdened by the heavy presence of unseen spirits. She closed her eyes briefly, reaching out with all her psychic sensitivity. Her connection to the spiritual realm was heightened in this confined space, and she knew that whatever awaited them had grown stronger with each passing moment. Ethan's voice echoed through the corridor, filled with both urgency and resolve. "Keep moving," he urged, his voice carrying a hint of strain. "We can't let fear paralyze us. There has to be a way out." The team pressed forward, their footsteps echoing in unison against the cold stone floor. The shadows danced menacingly along the walls, whispering secrets only they could hear. Each turn seemed to lead them deeper into the labyrinth that Chillingham Castle had become. Suddenly, a chilling breeze swept through the corridor, extinguishing their flashlights in an instant. Darkness enveloped them, leaving them disoriented and vulnerable. Panic welled up within them, threatening to drown out their determination. But just as despair began to take hold, Rebecca's sharp eyes caught sight of a faint glow in the distance. With a surge of adrenaline, she pointed towards it, her voice barely above a whisper. "Look, there's a door." Energized by the prospect of escape, the team quickened their pace towards the flickering light. As they approached, they saw a small wooden door partially hidden behind layers of creeping darkness. It stood as a beacon of hope amidst the oppressive atmosphere. Without hesitation, Ethan reached for the doorknob and pushed it open, revealing a dimly lit room on the other side. A gust of fresh air greeted their senses, carrying with it a renewed sense of possibility. Relief flooded over them as they stepped into the room, their breathing ragged but triumphant. The sense of confinement lifted, replaced by an exhilarating freedom they hadn't felt in what seemed like hours. Ethan turned to his team, his eyes filled with gratitude and admiration. "We made it," he proclaimed softly but fervently. "We faced our fears head-on and emerged stronger because of it." Rebecca's lips curved into a weary yet triumphant smile. She couldn't help but feel a sense of accomplishment, despite the dangers that still lay ahead. They had proven their resilience and determination against formidable odds. As they caught their breath and surveyed their surroundings, the team knew that their journey was far from over, but this narrow escape served as a reminder of their tenacity and unwavering commitment to uncovering Chillingham Castle's haunting secrets. With renewed resolve, they gathered themselves once more and prepared to venture further into the depths of darkness that awaited them. They were bound together by shared experience and an unyielding curiosity for what lay ahead, ready to face whatever malevolent forces lurked within Chillingham Castle's treacherous embrace. The team gathered in the main hall of Chillingham Castle, their faces illuminated by the flickering candlelight that danced against the ancient stone walls. A sense of trepidation hung in the air, mingling with the determination etched into each team member's features. Ethan, his piercing blue eyes filled with unwavering resolve, stood at the head of the group. His voice rang out, strong and commanding, as he addressed his team. "We have faced countless challenges on this journey," he began, his words carrying a sense of urgency. "But we cannot let fear paralyze us. We must press on." Rebecca, her fiery red hair casting a vibrant glow amidst the dimly lit room, stepped forward. Her voice quivered ever so slightly as she voiced her concerns. "Ethan, we have encountered increasingly intense supernatural occurrences," she said, her words laced with both fear and determination. "Is it worth risking our safety for answers that may elude us?" Lucas, standing tall beside Rebecca, adjusted his glasses and cleared his throat. His analytical mind sought logical explanations, even in the face of the inexplicable. "Rebecca raises a valid point," he added, his voice calm yet tinged with uncertainty. "Perhaps we should consider altering our approach to ensure the safety of the team." Ethan's jaw tightened, his gaze never wavering from his team members. He understood their concerns, but was unwilling to let obstacles deter them from their mission. With a deep breath, he spoke firmly yet compassionately. "I understand your apprehension," he acknowledged, "but we have come too far to turn back now. We owe it to ourselves and to those who came before us to continue forward." Rebecca's brow furrowed with worrying, her eyes searching Ethan's face for reassurance. She knew that beneath his fearless exterior lay a genuine concern for their well-being. Reluctantly, she nodded in agreement, an unspoken understanding passing between them. "We will remain vigilant," Ethan continued, his voice filled with a renewed sense of determination. "We will adapt our strategy and ensure each member's safety takes precedence. But we cannot abandon our quest to uncover the truth hidden within these walls." Lucas adjusted his glasses once more and offered a small nod of agreement. The bond between the team members was undeniable, built on trust and shared experiences. They had come too far to let doubt cloud their judgment now. Amelia stepped forward, her hazel eyes reflecting a mix of resolve and apprehension. She reached out a comforting hand towards Rebecca, her empathetic nature yearning to soothe their anxieties. "We are bonded by more than just curiosity," she reminded them softly. "Together, we will face whatever darkness awaits us." And with those final words of encouragement, the team steeled themselves for the path that lay ahead, aware of the dangers that awaited them, but united in their quest to confront their fears and navigate Chillingham Castle's treacherous paths. The team cautiously made their way through the hidden passageways of Chillingham Castle, their footsteps muffled by the accumulation of time. The narrow corridors twisted and turned, leading them deeper into the heart of darkness. Ethan led the way, his jaw set with steely determination, his eyes scanning the walls for any signs of hidden chambers. Rebecca followed closely behind, her fingers trailing along the rough stone surfaces. Her knowledge of medieval architecture guided their path, her expertise shining through her confident steps. Lucas trailed slightly behind, his attention focused on his equipment. He adjusted the settings of his camera, searching for any anomalous readings that might indicate a supernatural presence. His analytical mind raced, contemplating possible explanations for the haunting phenomena they had encountered so far. Amelia brought up the rear, her senses heightened to the spiritual energy that permeated the air. Her empathic nature pulsated with each step, connecting her to the restless souls trapped within Chillingham Castle's depths. She could feel their anguish and desperation as if it were her own. As they ventured deeper into the labyrinthine corridors, the air grew colder and heavier with an unseen presence. Cobwebs brushed against their faces, clinging to their clothes like whispers from another time. The only sound was the echo of their footsteps and the occasional drip of water in some forgotten recess. Rebecca's eyes widened as they entered a particularly narrow section of the passageway. The walls seemed to close in on them, suffocating their progress. Her breath quickened, a sliver of fear creeping into her heart. Ethan sensed Rebecca's unease and paused, his eyes meeting hers with understanding. He placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder, silently conveying his confidence in her abilities and their shared purpose. Together, they pressed forward. Suddenly, a faint glow flickered ahead, casting eerie shadows on the corridor walls. The team picked up their pace, drawn towards the ethereal light like moths to a flame. As they rounded a corner, they found themselves standing before a hidden doorway concealed by layers of dust and decay. Rebecca's excitement mingled with trepidation as she pushed open the door, revealing a hidden chamber bathed in an otherworldly glow. The room was filled with relics long forgotten, ancient manuscripts, rusted tools of torture, and remnants of forgotten lives. Amelia's connection to the spiritual realm intensified within this sacred space. She closed her eyes, allowing herself to be guided by unseen hands. Her psychic sensitivity enveloped her like a warm embrace, revealing glimpses of past horrors etched into the very fabric of the room. The team moved cautiously through the chamber, taking in every detail with reverence and awe. Ghostly whispers seemed to dance through the air, carrying fragments of stories from centuries past. Shadows clung to corners like sentient beings, shifting and swaying with an ethereal grace. Ethan's gaze settled on an ancient iron maiden tucked away in one corner of the room. Its cold metal surface seemed to pulse with malevolent energy. He took a step closer, his hand outstretched, as if drawn to its chilling presence. Rebecca's voice broke through his reverie, filled with urgency and concern. "Ethan," she called out softly, her voice laden with warning. "Be cautious. There's something darker lurking here." Startled, Ethan stepped back and surveyed his surroundings with new clarity. The beauty of discovery had momentarily clouded his judgment, but he knew now that danger lurked within this hidden chamber. As they backed away from the Iron Maiden, an oppressive force seemed to fill the room. Wisps of dark energy curled around them, tendrils of smoke, tightening its grip on their senses. Panic threatened to consume them, as they realized they were not alone in this chamber of secrets. They exchanged glances, fear mirrored in each other's eyes, as they braced themselves for whatever malevolent force awaited them in this treacherous path of exploration. They had come too far to turn back now. Their only choice was to confront their fears head-on and fight for their survival amidst the darkness that enveloped Chillingham Castle. The team stood in the dimly lit chamber, their hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and determination. An oppressive force hung heavy in the air, seeming to squeeze their very breath from their lungs. Shadows danced on the walls as if alive, flickering and swaying with malevolent intent. Ethan's eyes darted around the room, searching for any sign of the invisible presence that threatened their safety. His jaw clenched with unwavering resolve as he took a step forward, his gaze fixed on the source of darkness before them. Rebecca's hand tightened around her notebook, her knuckles turning white. Fear battled against her expertise as her mind raced to find a logical explanation for the supernatural occurrences they had faced. Yet, within her, a flicker of determination burned brightly, refusing to be extinguished. Lucas adjusted his glasses with trembling hands, his analytical mind struggling to comprehend the forces at play. He fought against waves of doubt that threatened to overwhelm him, focusing instead on his equipment, willing it to provide answers they so desperately sought. Amelia closed her eyes and took a deep breath, centering herself amidst the swirling chaos. Her connection to the spiritual realm intensified within this haunted chamber, amplifying her senses and heightening her awareness of the unseen danger that lurked nearby. Suddenly, a chilling gust of wind swept through the room, extinguishing their flickering candles with a sinister hiss. Darkness descended upon them, a suffocating blanket, leaving only the sound of their accelerated heartbeats ringing in their ears. A low growl rumbled from the shadows, emanating from an unknown source. Panic gripped their hearts as they strained to see through the impenetrable blackness. Their only solace was each other's presence. Their only hope was united strength. Then, from the darkness emerged a figure, distorted and twisted with a malevolence that permeated every fiber of its being. It moved with an unnerving grace, its eyes glowing with an unholy light. Fear surged within them as they realized they were face to face with an ancient evil that lay dormant within Chillingham Castle's depths. The air crackled with tension as Ethan raised his voice above the growing storm. "Stand together," he commanded, his voice filled with authority. "We are not alone in this fight." Rebecca squared her shoulders and met the abomination's gaze without faltering. Determination gleamed in her eyes as she channeled her knowledge and expertise into finding a way to combat the darkness that threatened to consume them.